Hi, I'm Dr. Mark B. Hubble, and this is your Monday morning mini message. Have you ever encountered a situation in your life where you just looked at it and you just thought to yourself, that's not fair? I know I have. And what this prompted me to think of was the book of Matthew, chapter 20, verses 1 through 16. This is the parable of the vineyard owner. And I'm not going to read all 16 verses because I'm trying to keep the Monday morning mini message as many as possible. So I'll summarize it for you. There's a vineyard owner and he's looking for workers for the day. So he goes to the marketplace. He sees some people standing around and he asks them if they'd like to work for him for the day. And they agreed to, and he said, okay, I'm going to pay you denarius, which is at that time the monetary unit of an entire day wage. So they agreed and they go to work for him. Well, the vineyard owner goes back to the marketplace 3 more times during the day. He goes at noon, at 3, even as late as 5 p.m. and asks people if they want to work for him. Well, they agreed. So at the end of the day, when everybody's getting paid, he makes sure that the people who came last were first in line. And he did this for a reason. He wanted the people in the back of the line to see what everybody was getting paid. Well, the people that came in at 5 o'clock got paid a denarius, an entire day wage. The people at 3 o'clock got paid a denarius, and the people at noon. So the people in the back of the line, they're getting a little bit upset, a little bit angry, and they're thinking to themselves, well, why are they getting the same reward we get when we've been here the entire day? So the vineyard owner confronts them and he says, didn't you agree to work for this at the beginning of the day? And they said, kind of begrudgingly, yes. And he says, okay, well, are you just envious because I'm generous with my money then? And they really didn't have anything to say to that. So what does this parable mean? Well, the parable is about when we come to know Christ as our Savior, when we get saved. Some people get saved when they're young, when they're teenagers. Some people get saved when they're in their 20s or 30s. And some people get saved when they're 75 or 80 years old. But they're going to the same heaven. Now, in our earthly reasoning, it just, it astounds me that somebody who's been serving Christ their whole life is going to go to the same heaven as somebody who just recently converted when they're 80 years old and then they die 3 days later or 2 years later. It just doesn't seem fair in our earthly understanding that we'd get to go to the same heaven. But that's not about fairness. It's about God's generosity. And it's something that we should be grateful for every day. I know I came to Christ a little bit later in my life. I was 31 years old when, I got saved. And I'm thinking about it, and I've only been serving Christ for 9 years now. Now, I'm sure that God would prefer that I came to know Christ as my Savior earlier in life, but I know that His grace, that gift, that generosity that He's bestowed upon me is something that I can't put a price on, and I can't go back in time and, come to know Christ earlier. But I know I'm still going to go to that same heaven that everybody else is. So instead of me worrying about somebody else and what they're doing and how they're doing it, let me just worry about me and what I'm doing with my life and be thankful that I serve a God that is so generous. I hope this has some impact on your week. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Take care and God bless.